Hey everybody, this is Penny Sticks, and this is the Company Man. This is going to be the first 2 levels of the game on Impossible mode, just to give you an idea of the very slight difference that you're going to run into when you play the hardest difficulty in here. Really, nothing is different about the game that you're going to come up against. Every enemy is the same. They have the same amount of hit points. They're in the same places. They deal the same amount of damage. The only difference is when you start Impossible mode, you have 1 hit point. You have the ability to earn 210 coins to get 3 additional hit points, and that's all you're going to get pretty much. The coffee shop also has 2 other upgrades that you'll definitely want to think about buying when you can afford them. And that is, I don't have the name of the beans in front of me, but one of them recovers a hit point for every coworker that you fire. And another one gives you 5 seconds of invulnerability on your last hit point. So those 2 are good to also cash in on when you can afford it. We're going to go through the first 2 levels before I have enough money here to buy a second hit point. So I'm going to show you basically what you're up against, and a couple tips and tricks possibly along the way. Full disclosure, I have edited out most of the deaths, just because it's not necessary to see me die over and over again. By the way, this is me turning off the vibration because I had forgotten to do that on this account. I don't know if I had the vibration on the whole 2 hour, under 2 hour speed run on normal, but for some reason it really bothered me as I was starting this impossible run. So that was my first death there, as you can see. And like I said, I did edit most of them out. I mean, there's not that many. I'm looking at all of my edits here as I'm recording the audio on top of it, and there's not that many edits. So it doesn't look like I cut too many things out. If anything, it was the same checkpoint that I struggled with a couple times. You know, especially in this first level, like Jarrett and a couple of the other enemies, their hitboxes, or I guess your hitbox, is so large with some of these coworkers, these enemies. Some of them just, if they get anywhere near you, you suffer a hit. And when you only have 1 hit, boy, you can feel it. I think I even have the first death. The first loss. No, not the first loss there. Okay. So, even with all of the deaths I did have in the first 2 levels, and I definitely had a few deaths in research and development. That Gobi, or however you say his name, man, I can't get him. I can't get through him without a lot of trial and error. But even if, and this should be your experience too, especially if you've already played the game once, twice, maybe 3 times, working on your normal speed run. Once you get a couple hit points, a couple upgrades going, this game is going to play exactly as it did on normal for you. So there should be no fear of getting through this game in under 5 hours for the Fast and Furious trophy. If you can get through it in 2 hours on normal, you can certainly get through this in under 5 hours. So as we do, we're going to let this play out here, and I will come back at the end of this level and talk you through the only other change that Impossible Run brings, and it's actually kind of beneficial. It makes the game a little easier. So keep watching as I go through this with 1 hit point. Battling Jarrett, battling, what's the guy's name? Chad, I think, is at the end of this one. Or Craig. Craig, I think his name is. And I think I even have one death in the Craig fight as well. So I'll be back to talk you through some other things. I'm sure there'll be something else that there's always something that comes up that gives me a reason to chime in. So I'll be back in a bit. And that definitely takes a little practice getting Craig without getting hit. But it's a pretty simple back and forth. And it looks like I left like 2 or 3 deaths in there, which is good. I only took a few out. Let's say. So I want to point out something that just happened here. We got our blaster, and if you'll notice, we have full energy. And throughout the rest of Impossible mode, you will pretty much have unlimited blaster. And that will work on any of the firing modes that you unlock. So keep that in mind. You definitely want to use the blaster to your, the infinite ammo to your advantage. So the most you can get from running through the first level once without dying and killing every coworker that you come up against is 55. So you can see I definitely got a couple extra runs at some of these people here. So I have a few extra coins because of that. But unless you really allow yourself to kind of grind out a couple extra coins or you replay the level again, you're not going to have enough to buy anything in the coffee shop before you head to human resources. So I did want to show both of the first 2 levels with only 1 hit point to give you kind of an idea of what you're going to be up against here. And it doesn't look like I took out too much of this as well. But I am extremely familiar with human resources. And maybe I just forgot to take the deaths out, and I may regret saying it. But that guy right there, I don't know how, but he always seems to get one up on me every time I come up against him. See, right there. Sometimes he's fast, sometimes he does a 180 and just totally flips around and hits me when I think he's going to go the other direction. So any deaths I got in human resources are probably from him, and there might be a few airplane hits. Yeah, I think it's just 1 or 2 in here, and then I probably cut the rest out. But it doesn't look like I did much editing here. But I am very familiar with human resources because this is my main account, and this is the 3rd account I've played this game on. I have the platinum in both my European account and my secondary North American account. And when this game came out, and even still now, there was just quite a few problems with about 6 or 7 of the trophies. Some of them just weren't happening no matter what you did. Some of them were not being counted correctly, and now I'm still having problems with the coin trophies. This capture here, I only had been awarded the minimum wage coin trophy, which is for collecting 250 coins after playing normal all the way through and then grinding out the rest of the coins I needed to buy everything in the store. And to buy everything in the store, you need to collect 790 coins, which I reached that amount. And ooh, there's another death. I reached that amount and then went over that. So I should have gotten both the 250 and the 600 coin trophies. And I don't see that 600 coin trophy average pay until marketing during this run, which was really surprising to me. And I'll be showing you that trophy a little bit later. So anyway, I'm very familiar with human resources. This was the level I would grind in my previous accounts while playing this, trying to figure out how this game worked and what the problems were with it, and how the coins and the kills were calculated. And I really couldn't come up with a solution, to be honest with you. But this is the level I would use, and I would basically play this level from start to finish without using any of the checkpoints and killing myself before the boss fight, so that I could start from the beginning again and just keep killing and collecting coins from the same co-workers over and over and over again. There's only about 35 enemies in this level. There are 4 coins, which give you 40 coins altogether, and then there's only one boss fight here, so that's 10 coins. So it's a lucrative one to play, but if you get the coins the first time and then you just keep dying and restarting, all you get is really 35 coins, 35 fire rings of co-workers every time you play through the level, then kill yourself again. So it wasn't very profitable, but it was the only way I could figure out how to get some of these things to work on my other accounts. So that's a long way to say that I'm very familiar with this level. So if I happen to get through it fairly quickly, it's because I'm definitely experienced in this level. But I mean, that's not to say that I don't suffer a couple kills, a couple deaths from like this guy, or the guy that swims under the paper like it's water, acts like a fish. He got me. But so what you want to do here is, now that you have your blaster with infinite ammo, basically, you want to use that to your advantage as much as possible. You do want to kill as many co-workers as you can, because you want the most coins you can get, so that you can buy as many of those upgrades as you can early. And eventually you're going to be at 4 hit points. You're going to be able to recover a hit point every time you lose one by firing another coworker, and you're going to get that 5 seconds of invulnerability on your last hit point every single time that you're down to 1. You'll have 5 seconds, and then if you recover a hit point, then that invulnerability will come back if you happen to get down to 1 again. So those are good things to go for. So keep that all in mind, and we're gonna let it play a little bit longer. One more thing I will say is, the reason we only did the 2 first levels is because at this point, you could grind out and collect a lot more coins, and then throughout the rest of your gameplay, you're gonna basically come up against the same things you would for normal. So there's really no reason to watch the entire game, and there's really no reason to kind of need a guide past this point, because the game plays the same way it always plays. You just have, maybe 2-3 hit points at the most to get through from checkpoint to checkpoint. The checkpoints do get a little bit further apart the further into the game you go. Sales and legal especially. The final checkpoint in sales and legal, I mean, it's like, it's a long distance. It's a long distance, and it's a lot of different things, and so you want to be as powered up as you can be to handle the harder parts of this game. For me, I did not prepare properly for research and development, and I struggled to get through the Gobi fight, the guy that uses his radioactive toilet to shoot at you. So I definitely could have spent my money more wisely, maybe gotten another hit point. But, you know, I definitely struggled through there and spent probably about half an hour just on that boss fight. So if you're struggling on one of those later bosses and you're figuring out what to spend your money on, kind of take into consideration you have 3 hit points to add and those 2 other upgrades. So whatever you think is going to help you in one of those mid-game bosses, especially, because by the time you get to marketing and sales and legal, you really should have all of your power-ups already. But you know, if you're pinching your pennies, figure out what works best for what you need in the meantime. But you know, keep notice of the use of the blaster, the increased use of blaster, and other items. And again, all we have is the one-shot blaster, the email blaster right now. But when you get like the carbon copy, it's so good for the carbon copy, which you don't really get until, when do you get that? Research and development, I think. Yeah. That's great, because you could just fire that. You could just in quick succession, and it goes the entire length of the screen. It goes past the screen. You could kill things far off in the distance with carbon copy. I do notice that if you really spam the fire button, eventually the game will say, okay, you don't have infinite ammo anymore, and it will use it up, and then you'll just have to wait for it to recharge. But until you get there, you're good. So we're heading into the boss fight here. Again, it's the exact same boss fight. It always is. And it's one of the easiest boss fights in the game. So if you happen to know the routine, then you got nothing to really worry about. Stay under that platform that's on the right side there when it's going back and forth. When he's in the middle and about to do that roller thing, stay close to that little platform there for the first 2 rolls, and then go on top for the third so that you can jump back down and attack him. And then when he goes into the floor, make sure that you are not standing above him when he pops out. Other than that, stay under that platform, and all the other attacks will be falling from the sky, but you will be protected by staying under that platform. So real easy. You know, for Chad before this, it's literally just, you have to just be ready to jump and dash over his 2 attacks. And then don't get too close to him when he does his kind of mid-fight attack. He kind of has a small AoE attack, and then if you end up taking that long, you'll see a much larger AoE attack that he does later in the fight. But I don't think we ever showed that, because I don't think we ever got to that part. And then Jarrett, of course, is just running around with the whip. You know, both the first level, both customer service fights, it's more, the more you do it, the easier it's gonna feel. You just gotta have to get a feel of where they're gonna be and their patterns of movement. But this one, it's just the same 3 things over and over again, slightly randomized, but you'll definitely get to this point here. We done? Yes, we're done. Okay.
Yes.
So here you have the shotgun. Again, another. It takes 5. Does 5 damage. So to be able to do that over and over again, it's pretty good. It's just a short distance that it attacks, but if an enemy is up close and you need to use the shotgun kind of blaster that we just got here, it really is great to use that in quick succession when when you have infinite ammo, pretty much. So here we finally have enough money, and I'm going to purchase. I think I buy 2 hearts. Is that what I do? What do I do? Yep, 2 hearts, and then I would go for the one below it with the hit point recovery next, because it's always good. You know, when you have 3 and you lose 1, you can at least recover that one by killing another enemy or firing another coworker. So, and we're just grabbing our coffee and moving on to accounting. So I'm just going to show you the 3 trophies here as we head up there, and just take note. I am also going to link the other video I did for the impossible mode, where I show all the boss fights. It is from a previous account run through of the game, so feel free to check that out in case you want to see how those work. This was just, like I said, just in marketing. I happened to get this average pay for collecting 600 coins, though I had at this point collected well over 1,200 coins. So take that for what it is. And then here are the 2 trophies that we were working on. Mission Impossible for playing through and completing Impossible Mode.
Hey there, dreamer.
And for under 5 hours completing Impossible Mode, you get Fast and Furious. Again, everything's pretty much the same as normal. You just start with less hit points, you get infinite ammo, and you should be able to get through it all in less than 5 hours. Hope that helped. Take care.